Hello, my name's Mabel and I'm 30 years old. Recently, I came into a large fortune and it revealed the ugly side of my husband. Today, I want to share my story and how I unintentionally got revenge on two people at once. Let me start by telling you a bit more about myself. I grew up away from my grandparents, but we were still very close. I remember that every few months they would visit us just to spend time with me. I was especially close to my grandmother. I was the apple of her eye, and she never ceased to spoil me. When my grandfather passed away when I was 17, I was devastated, and my grandmother didn't take it well either. I loved her dearly, so when it was time for me to go to college, I chose to attend one in her state to be closer to her. It was in college that I met my ex-husband, Toby. We started dating during our junior year and had a pretty good relationship. Toby was everything I was looking for in a partner, which is why I continued the relationship even after we graduated. We got engaged a few months after graduating but decided to wait until we were in a stable financial situation to get married. In the meantime, since I had a better apartment, Toby moved in with me. While my relationship with Toby was great, I could not get along with his sister Julia. Julia didn't live in the same state as us because she moved with her husband when he got a better job. But she still doted on Toby excessively. She hated me from the moment we met, probably thinking I was stealing her baby brother from her. She was always rude and unaccommodating. The only reason I tolerated her visits was because she would bring over her daughter, Viola. Viola and I got along really well from the time she was a baby. She only seemed to like being with me, and I enjoyed it. Julia was glad to have some time to herself, but that didn't stop her from being mean to me. Toby never stood up for me because he loved his sister too much to hurt her feelings. Not wanting to cause a rift between them, I just shut up and dealt with it. About 3 years after we got engaged, Toby and I were doing well enough, so we decided to get married. It was an amazing day, and yes, I'll even say that now. Everything was going great until 4 years after we got married, when two major things happened. The first was that my grandmother passed away. I was heartbroken and honestly could not do much during that time. I inherited about $1 million in money and assets combined, but none of that mattered to me because my grandmother was gone. The second thing that happened was that Julia and her family moved back into town. Suddenly, Toby was rarely at home. He was almost always over at Julia's, and when he was home, Julia was often there too. The only thing keeping me sane was the time I spent with Viola. While I was still grieving the loss of my grandmother, Toby's absence became more apparent. I tried to talk to him about it, but he didn't seem to care until one day he came home directly after work, alone, a pretty rare occasion. "Hey sweetie, how was your day?" "It was pretty good. What about you?" "Oh, same old. I went to meet Julia, and we got to talking." "You seem to be visiting Julia a lot." "Yeah, we're really close. I miss her, and I guess I just feel better when I'm with her. When I'm around her anyways." "Do you not want to know what we talked about?" "Yeah, sure. Tell me." "Well, I was telling her that we were planning on buying a house." "I'm going to cut you off right there. I never agreed to that. Just listen to me. Julia asked me how I had the funds for it, and I told her all about your inheritance. She suggested that it would actually be a great investment for us to make." "And why is that?" "I mean, you have more than enough money to almost fully purchase a house. I really think that we should invest in it. We'll be well settled for the rest of our lives. But I want to invest my money in something better." "What's better than securing a house for ourselves?" "I can think of several better things that can at least be put to use for our future. I don't want to spend all my money on one thing. It's like you're trying to tell me that your money is yours and not mine to begin with." "Well, it kind of is. I get to decide what I want to do with it, and you have no say in it. Look, you either invest your money in something for the both of us, or I'm leaving." "Where would you go? You're literally begging me to buy a house with my money for your future. If you choose to leave, that's your loss." "Oh, so you're okay with me leaving all because you want to keep your money to yourself?" "Don't try and act as if that's what I was saying, Toby. You're the one threatening to leave me if I don't spend on you. You're the one who brought it up." "Yes, because I thought you loved me and wanted to spend your future with me. Forgive me for looking out for us. You're really bad at whatever you're trying to do here. I'm keeping my money, and I get to decide where and how I spend it." "Fine, but could you at least think about spending it on a house for us?" "Sure." I wasn't sure why Toby was being so adamant about buying the house, but something did not seem right to me. which is why I knew I had to stand my ground. Toby began to distance himself from me after that conversation. He started spending even more time at Julia's place. Julia stopped coming over except to drop Viola off when she needed me to babysit her. I tried to talk to Toby on multiple occasions and asked him what was wrong, but he always brushed me off and told me there was nothing wrong. Eventually, I gave up and figured that I'd just wait until Toby was ready to talk. However, things took a turn when one day Julia dropped Viola off at my place for me to babysit her. "Hey Viola, how's my favorite niece doing?" "I'm your only niece." "Still my favorite though." "I hope I'll always be your favorite." "Of course you will be. Anyways, what do you want to do today?" "I was thinking we could get our nails done and then get some ice cream." "Yay, can I paint my nails pink?" "Of course you can." "And can I get strawberry ice cream?" "Why can't you? We'll get you everything you want. I only have one niece, and if I don't spoil her, would I really be her aunt?" "You know you're my favorite aunt. I really will miss you." "Miss me, sweetie. What do you mean?" "I'm not going anywhere." "Are you sure?" "Yes, of course. Where do you think I'll be going?" "Well, it's just that." "What is it?" "You can tell me anything. I swear I won't tell anyone else a word." "Okay, well, I heard Mommy and Uncle talking the other day." "Uncle as in Uncle Toby?" "Yeah. Mommy said she's going to help Uncle with getting some cases." "Cases? What are you talking about?" "They kept talking about some cases that would give them some money, and then she told Uncle that he would have a nice big house after you left you." "What? Oh my God, sweetie. When did you hear this?" "Like 2 days ago." "Are you sure you heard correctly?" "Yes, I'm sure." As soon as Mommy saw that I was listening to them, she yelled at me to go to my room. She also told me not to tell you anything about her talk with Uncle, but I only told you because you're my favorite aunt. "Thank you so much, sweetie. Now enough of this. Let's go out and have a fun day." I tried my best to go about the rest of the day as if I hadn't heard what Viola told me. I could tell she felt bad for telling me, but I reassured her that she did nothing wrong. I spoiled her as I always did, and when it was time for her to go back home, I made her promise not to tell her mom or Toby what she had shared with me. Viola promised not to say a word and hugged me goodbye when Julia picked her up from my place. As soon as they left, panic began to rise in my chest. I knew something was off with Toby, but realizing he was trying to trick me into spending my money on him was a new low. It was something I would have never expected from him. Desperate, I did the only thing I could think of. I called Toby's father, Edgar, who was a lawyer. I didn't know why I called him, considering he could have been in on Toby and Julia's plan. However, I had a gut feeling that Edgar was a good man. Besides, he had always treated me like a princess when I visited his place and put Julia in her place whenever she tried to bully me. Edgar picked up the call in his usual warm manner. "Hello, darling. To what do I owe this phone call?" "Hi, Edgar. How are you?" "Oh, I'm doing quite well. What about you?" I actually don't know. I called because I need your help." "My help? What could I help you with? Isn't Toby around?" "He is, but he's kind of the problem." "Oh no, I always told that boy to treat you right because it's really hard to come by women as amazing as you." "Thank you, Edgar. You may be the only one in your family who thinks of me as amazing." "What are you talking about?" "Well, I was babysitting Viola the other day, and she told me that Toby and Julia were planning something against me." "Against you? What do you mean?" "She didn't know the specifics, but there is a case involved. Apparently, they plan on taking money from me." "What in God's name are you telling me?" "I don't know the full story either. I'm worried, and I figured I'd come to you for help, considering you're a lawyer." "You did a great job coming to me. Now tell me, do you believe Viola?" "I do, especially because in the past few months, Toby has been distancing himself from me. I tried talking to him, but he never took me seriously." "All right, and why do you think Julia is involved?" "Ever since she moved back, they began to spend a lot of time together. I get that they were living far apart for years, but in the past few months, he's been going over to her house for hours every single day." That's a little weird. Did something happen a few months ago that triggered Toby's behavior?" "Yes, I got my grandmother's inheritance after she passed away. It was a large amount of money. Toby wanted to use it to buy a house, but I was hesitant. After that, he's been acting strange." "Right. My guess is that they're trying to get your money. First of all, I'm so sorry that my children are doing this to you. This is not how I raised them." Secondly, why don't you drop by my office tomorrow and we'll hash this out properly? That sounds great, and you have nothing to apologize for. You're clearly a good man. Thank you for helping me out. I don't know what I would do without you. I was genuinely grateful that Edgar was helping me out. I didn't think he would side with me over his children, but I was glad that he did. The next day, I took a day off from work and made my way to Edgar's office. Once there, Edgar apologized once again for Toby and Julia's behavior, but I told him to focus on helping me navigate the situation. We suspected that Toby was going to ask for a divorce, so our first order of business was to contact all the reputable divorce lawyers in our city and ask for advice. This would limit Toby's access to good lawyers due to the conflict of interest since they already knew my side. Next, we needed to figure out how they planned to take my inheritance from me. Thankfully, I had been smart enough to keep my inheritance money in a separate bank account and had not used it to buy anything for Toby or me. I had planned on buying Toby some luxury items he'd always wanted, but clearly that was never going to happen. Since there was no other way for them to get that money from me, Edgar and I figured they were planning to outright steal from me. The only thing I could control was setting up the perfect trap to catch them. You see, I had a top-of-the-line security system installed in my apartment because I was paranoid about break-ins, which was a fact Toby knew and agreed to when he moved in. The next step was to subtly let Toby know that my bank details were logged in on my laptop. This wasn't hard. I just pretended to have some banking issues that he could help me with. Finally, I told Toby that I was going to meet a friend over the weekend, leaving him home alone. I then met Edgar, who would serve as a witness and corroborate my alibi. In the middle of our conversation, I received a notification that money had been transferred from my account to our joint account. I immediately called the police and reported it. When I got back from meeting Edgar, Toby was sitting in the dining room and asked me to sit with him. We need to talk. Oh, about what? About us? Okay, we're not working out. I agree. You agree? What do you mean? Well, for starters, I did not like how you threatened to end the relationship over money. Money I would have spent on us had you not done that. I didn't think you would. And that's another point. You think so lowly of me. I don't think that's a sign of a good partner. Like you've been a good partner, you've been selfish since the start, and I only put up with it because. Just then, the doorbell rang. It was the police arriving to investigate the reported theft. I loved you. How in the world was I selfish? I helped you pay off your student loans first instead of mine. I supported you for a whole year when you didn't have a job. I sacrificed so much to make sure you were happy. The few times I didn't do what you wanted, you labeled me as a selfish monster. Don't act like what you did was some righteous thing. I would have done the same for you. Would you? You never helped me out when I was sick. Why would I think you would have sacrificed your comfort for me when I really needed it? You're just trying to make me feel bad. No, and the last reason I don't want to be with you is that I don't want to be with a lying, manipulative thief. What are you saying? Don't think I don't know about what you and Julia have been planning. I saw you transfer money out of my account into our joint account. I know you wanted to split that during the divorce. No. Oh, don't even bother. I know everything. You are a pathetic man, and I see no reason to be with you. Well, I'll still get half of what I transferred into our account. I still win. Will you? If I recall correctly, I had security cameras installed in my apartment. You made that transaction from my laptop at a time when I wasn't home. I already reported you for theft. The police should be here any time now. You did what? Oh, here they come. Good luck. Just then, the doorbell rang. The police had arrived to investigate the reported theft. I'll see you in court. The relief I felt at finally seeing Toby pay for his actions was unparalleled. The following weeks were a nightmare of courtroom sessions and evidence viewing. Along with the charges of theft against him, I also filed for a divorce. Edgar was my lawyer, and he fought long and hard to ensure Toby paid properly for his crime. Edgar won the case for me, and Toby was sentenced to 2 years in jail and fined an additional $30,000. Nothing was sweeter than the taste of revenge. Just as Edgar and I were celebrating our victory, Julia came up to us. Julia had conveniently been absent during all the previous trials and only chose to show up on the day of the verdict. That in itself spoke volumes about her. But when she approached us, she looked angry and pointed her finger at Edgar. Dad, you were helping this witch. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't have helped Toby. I don't know, because she literally put your son in jail. and he deserved his sentence. That will make him think twice before trying to steal from someone again. How could you do that to your own son? No, Julia, how could you do that to your own brother? Don't think I did not see the real reason behind your plan. You were going to help Toby get the money so you could also reap the benefits of it. I was trying to give him a break from this jerk here. You have no idea how toxic she is for him. I don't think she was the toxic one, Julia. You were a bad influence on him, and he was stupid enough to fall for your little game. He's getting the punishment he deserves, and maybe now he'll think twice before ever listening to you again. You know you're going to lose him this way. He will never talk to you again. Good, because I have no children as far as I'm concerned. Don't be so dramatic. I'll be here, but I'm not happy with the way you treated my baby brother. As far as I'm concerned, neither you nor your brother are my children because I know for a fact that this is not how I raised my kids. What are you talking about? What I'm saying is that I'm disowning both of you, and I want nothing to do with either of you. You can't do that. I actually can, and I'm going to do just that. This is all Mabel's fault. If she just thought of someone other than herself for a second, this would not have been happening. No, you should not have been so greedy. I was going to spoil Toby with all the things he wanted, but you had to interfere. You took away everything from him, and I hope you sit and think long and hard about what you did to your brother. Goodbye. I grabbed Edgar's hand and we left. We couldn't help but let out a chuckle at what had happened. I was happy that Toby got what he deserved and that I was going to be free of his manipulative ways. I was also happy to see Edgar take my side. I did feel bad that it was because of me that he had lost both of his children, but he assured me that it was their own decisions that led to that. I took him out for coffee afterward, and we've maintained a good friendship ever since. Julia harassed me a bunch over text, and Edgar took it upon himself to tell Julia and her husband to leave me alone. Now this is where I unintentionally got revenge on Julia as well. You see, Julia's husband had no idea about Julia's involvement in what happened between Toby and me, so he called Edgar and asked him what happened and was shocked to learn about what Julia had done. Apparently, their marriage had been in the dumps for a while because of Julia's constant nagging that he never brought home enough money while simultaneously refusing to work. He did not like that she would go to such lengths and ask for a divorce. Of course, he also asked for full custody of Viola and managed to get almost full custody. Julia got custody for every other weekend. Not to mention, she didn't get much through that divorce either, considering that he had her sign an ironclad prenup before marriage. Julia only received a small amount of alimony for a set period of time, and she was kicked out of their house. Once again, she blamed it all on me. And if I'm being completely honest, I was a little happy to see the way she got what she deserved. She tried to meddle in someone else's life, and she paid the ultimate price for it. Not to mention, I got to see Viola still because she loved me, and Julia's ex-husband could not say no to Viola. He was very apologetic for what Julia did, but I reminded him that he had no idea, so he had nothing to apologize for. And before you ask, yes, I am spoiling Viola senseless. As for me, my life is only getting better. I got a promotion at work and also decided to hire an accountant to help manage all my finances. I have invested my money in a few places, and it's only a matter of time before I get my returns on those. Getting to where I am today took a lot of struggle, but let me tell you, the view from where I'm at is one that I'm loving. I have a better understanding of people, and I'm going to be a lot more cautious. Thank you for your time.